navigation system's all messed up. It thinks we're in a park. Oh my God, it is a park! Away from the kids! Aim for the lake!
We have this 03-04 Terminator Mustang. We've done quite a bit of work on it in the past. Today it's actually here because he was driving it over the weekend and noticed coolant coming down and it started to overheat. So we're just going to look at it, see what's going on with that. It's also here because one of the calipers is sticking, but that's just a easy peasy normal replacement. This one we got to see what's going on, and once we fix everything, make sure that there's going to be no more overheating issues. So let's see what we got. Oh, something got on the belts. Yeah. It's not empty, that's good news. Well, based on how everything looks, I'm gonna assume that something up front is leaking. So let's lift it and see what the water pump looks like. Oh yeah. So you can see, I don't know if you can get it in there, it's against it from behind. Yeah, you see all that leaking down? So above that is the water pump. I might need a mirror or something to see all the way in there because of everything's in the way. The pump is this pulley back there. It's above the crank pulley, but it's really hard to see because this is the supercharger pulley. So let's, if I can get the mirror in the right place. Cool pro tip, since we're in the day and age that we are, if you pull out your phone, turn on your video, usually you can get a much better look than if you were looking through a mirror. Kind of looks like it's coming from higher. Let me go back down, since it looked like there might have been something higher, and we'll just make sure. But I think we might have to start taking some stuff apart to see the actual water pump. First things first, just to make sure I'm not chasing a dead goose, I want to put some coolant in it. We're going to run it, wait for it to drip so that we can say, okay, it is behind that mess. And then we'll start taking the mess apart to see what it actually is. But good chance it's the water pump. It's always good to make sure, that way when you get there, you're like, oh, I could have saved money and not bought the thing that wasn't wrong. Yeah, let's get some coolant in this. So while this gets up to temp, I can give you a background story on this thing. So we've been servicing this car probably for the last 2 or 3 years. And recently, I'm sure you guys watched the video of the Drift Mustang, and we were talking about the clutch we put in that and how that wasn't good for the transmission. Unfortunately, it was the same story for this one. We put in a stage 3 clutch, somewhere around there, 2.5 or 3 or whatever it was. And I told him, I was like, hey, it's a stock Terminator. You don't need it. A stage 1 would be more than enough. And he was like, well, I already bought it. It's fine, I'll put it in. And I was like, all right, well, if anything happens, it's probably gonna break the transmission. A month or 2 after we put the clutch in, he tore all the dog teeth off of 3.4. So we took the tranny out, bought a stage 2 kit for it with the better shift fork and everything, had that all taken care of. And we put it back in there with a new clutch line and everything. The adjustable Steeda, what is it? Oh, the adjustable Steeda clutch quadrant And it's been running fine ever since until this past weekend where shit hit the fan. So it started to drip. We're gonna lift it, see where it's coming from. It did take a little bit for it to start dripping, but at least we'll be able to see it. You can see we've got a little bit showing up on the ground. Oh. Aha! It is a cracked reservoir. Can you see that crack right there? You might be able to see it on my side. The light is on it right now. You see it? Yeah, so you can see it dripping from the crack, finally getting pressure out of that crack. So I'm gonna turn this off and we will hopefully give them the happy news of it's just a tiny little thing. The fun part is gonna be trying to drain coolant out of this radiator without getting it all over myself, because they put everything in the way. So best of luck. And then the reservoir will hopefully be here today, which means we might be able to get this back to him today, because apparently we're not going to be doing the brake caliper. He bought the wrong one. Oh boy. Nope, don't want to do that. Oh, it's got a fucking guide? That's terrible. Oh, at least it went better than I thought, but it only comes out part of the bolt. So whichever angle it's facing when water actually comes out of it is the way it's going to shoot, which for me it was up. We're going to be changing the thermostat, which lucky for us it's actually right here, although there's still going to be coolant in it because it's actually lower than that and it's not going to drain away from there. So this will still be a fun shower. And we're only doing this because it got hot. So just because it overheats doesn't mean that it actually like got to boiling and warping head gaskets. Overheating just means that it's over the proper temperature. And every time it overheats, you should replace the thermostat, because the thermostat starts to not be happy when it gets too hot. You have more chance of overheating if you don't replace the thermostat. Oh, that's nice. Fred just screaming like no tomorrow. Oh, of course. Well, I said the shower was going to happen. I didn't say when. New thermostat, whenever you put new thermostats in, if they don't have like an alignment dowel, you want to put the little dingly on the top side. It's supposed to help with bubbles. So we're going to tighten the thermostat on here. Once we get this all tightened and snugged up, we're going to go up top, do the reservoir, put coolant in it, and then we're going to see if it has any overheating issues. All right, so drain plug is tight, new thermostat is in. I'm going to mop this up and then we'll resume up top. So we can see these are the cracks that everything was leaking out of. And it was mostly due to old age and to the fact that this thing was never driven. But yeah, that'll do it. I'm gonna wash my hands and then we'll turn this thing on, let it burp. After that, should be good. We've let it get up to temp. I let it go through the burping cycle of having the heater on and everything. The fan is on, which tells us that it's pretty much at temp. So now I'm gonna lift it and make sure that we have no other leaks going on other than what's already spilt. She's all done, dude. And that's how you diagnose and properly repair a coolant leak.